Hi, my name is Jason Beckett. I've been a professional hockey player for 12 years.
You know, I grew up focused on hockey. I played every sport, but hockey was my number one passion.
Just like the movies in the 80s, I wanted to pursue fortune and glory. Played in the Western Hockey League for the Seattle Thunderbirds. Was drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers and became a professional hockey player at 20 years old, and set out from there to become an NHL hockey player.
In my pursuit of hockey, I started to get involved in the things outside the game, the social aspects of life that kind of deterred you both away from your goal, but also away from, you know, life. Started to drink heavily, in a sense, combated my social anxiety with drinking, and I tried to get involved in that sort of side of the professional sports, and I didn't do that when I was growing up young, but as a professional, a lot of professional athletes do that, and we tend to get involved and use our free time for other things. And I ended up, after a team party on a road trip, being arrested for public intoxication, and found myself in a situation that I would never want to be in, never saw myself ever being in, but I was in jail. I only spent a night, but I knew I deserved to be there. I knew I felt guilty for everything I had done, past and the present, and so that was conflicting in me, and I sat there in that cell worried and wondering, what was I going to tell my mom? What was I going to tell my mom? I got out of jail the next day, and it just set me on a path of wondering why I was feeling so rotten, why I felt so guilty, why the things that I were doing, why it wasn't pleasing to me, and why other people were taking part in it and they never felt the guilt that I felt. And it was just a time when my heart was starting to change, starting to open up, and hit a really low point the next summer, and was cut first from the NHL hockey training camp and sent to the minors. But luckily in that dressing room, a missionary came into the room with Hockey Ministries International and presented the gospel to us. And I guess one of the greatest things is that obviously when the gospel message comes to you and your ability to receive it, you have to, you know, you need it. And you know, I truly realized my total need for it. We talk about things like total depravity in the Christian world, and I absolutely, without a doubt, knew that I needed Christ. I knew that I was rotten and sinful, and that my heart was very deceptive. But then I also realized that Jesus loved me in spite of all that. I think that's grace alone, just understanding grace and having that missionary, Iggy, come into our dressing room and week after week present grace in such a beautiful light. It's one of the greatest things that we can ever comprehend, just how grace is so perfect. I just remember realizing, just with unbelievable capacity, the fact that Jesus did all these things for me as an individual. I mean, I know He does it for everyone, but just to realize on that personal level that Christ died for me, paid my sin, I think was the biggest, you know, it sent me to tears that day. And I remember just sitting there going, wow, the depth that He has to come to save us is a big depth. I fell in love with Jesus, and the gospel message became so real, and I accepted it into my life on my bed, just in prayer, and from that day forward I've tried to just basically respond accurately to the gospel message. I would probably do anything to get to the NHL then and even now, but in reality it's not worth its weight in gold, because Christ is centered in my life. It's definitely one thing after knowing the Lord, is the amount of joy you have that doesn't make any sense. The hope you have in everything, in every situation. You can have tough times in your life. You can be cut from hockey teams or have bad seasons and have injuries, and still Christ is good because He provided salvation for us. And that joy never leaves you. And little did I know at that time that my pursuit of hockey wasn't leading me towards merely fortune and glory, but it was leading me to the greatest fortune, which was meeting Jesus Christ. And now, hockey is not the source to pursue fortune and glory. It is just pure joy. I play it because I love it. I play it because it's something I can do. It's a way to also reach people for Christ. I think what Christ does in your heart is He really changes your life. I heard on the radio, man sees your actions and God sees your motivations, and that's truly, really true. But He changes your motivations. He really changes your heart, because Christ is really the only way to just remain in such a state of joy at all times and in all situations.